You like? What song?
Yeah,
What song? Song? What song?
Just reading the signs that show you the way.
Oh,
This is Used to Be Alright by I Mother Earth. This is Bailey, my cat. Oh, she likes my headphones. So, Intimate ZVX with Stoic, episode 19, game 3. He is Stoic Regret.
and he is stoic nouveau.
You know what I hate about webcams? I look at my screen instead of the cam, and it gets really weird. It makes me uncomfortable.
It looks normal because I've seen it so often. Because you know how everybody streams, they look into the screen when they're playing. So I'm pretty used to that.
Touche. Touche.
Actually, I think it would be creepy if people streamed and looked directly into the camera. That would freak me out. Be like, why are you looking at me?
That's what I'm doing right now with really wide eyes. Alright, so one plug here, guys. Check out Complexity Academy tournament on Monday night. They're doing their qualifier for MLG, which is going to
just plug that in the forums.
It's going to be a gas.
Just in case they don't watch the third video. Because I know some of you guys only watched the first one. It makes us very sad.
Fuck you guys. Watch the first one and not the third one. Alright, let's fade in game here.
You can't do that. That's like eating Lay's chips and only eating one chip and not the whole bag. Because you have to eat the whole bag. It's just the way it works. I don't even know why I use that reference. I actually don't like Lay's chips.
Alright, well, while you're talking to yourself over there, I'm going to fade out this music.
Okay, dokie.
Okay.
Okay.
ZvP on Daybreak versus player Yeul, I think is how it's pronounced.
Some guy in Europe. TT1's friend. Okay, let's go.
TT1's friend. 3, 2, 1, play.
Apparently this guy trains with Grubby or something, so he's probably very well spoken and has a deep voice.
I train with Grubby.
Grubby's an awesome caster.
I agree. I like Grubby's casting. I haven't heard one person say one bad thing about Grubby's casting.
Okay, then I'll be the first. Can't do it. Can't think of anything. Yep,
Yeah.
it's too pure. Can't do it.
All right, let's talk about this map a little bit because it is huge. That's my
It's gigantuous.
first
Is that a word?
gargantuan, I think is
Gargantuan. There we go. That's what I was thinking of. I said that and it's kind of sounded right.
So ZvP, Blink Stalkers suck on this map, right?
Well,
you can't really.
I wouldn't say suck. It really depends on whether they can. Oh my God! Is this guy putting down his pylon? What a greedy fuck! Holy shit!
What?
He put down his second pylon before anything else. That is so greedy.
What a jerk!
Actually, is he doing it just a wall? Oh, that's really weird. Okay. Oh, I remember this game. This guy plays weird. Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so I totally forgot about his weirdo.
What a greedy fuck!
And then it's like, oh, never mind. I thought he was gonna put that pylon to go past 18 workers and then put the nexus down. That would have been like some nanny wash shit.
What I meant by the blink stalkers was you can't blink into the main, which means, I mean, more for PvP it sucks, but I mean PvZ blink stalkers are always good.
Yeah, it's always good as long as they can warp close to you, right? So the ability to put down a forward pylon pretty much determines how successful blink all-ins are going to be. So.
Yes, quite.
All right, so this guy plays a little strange. He's going to try to trick me to do some aggression here, but as you're going to see, as long as you play standard, stupid shit doesn't work. I actually just said that. Anyways.
What?
As long as you play well, stupid shit won't work.
Yeah, as long as you know exactly how to counter shit, it will always lose.
Okay, so I do see the two gateways here. So I know he's going to do something.
What a ridiculous statement. The key to being good at StarCraft, guys, is to be good at StarCraft. Basically, is what David just said. So, for those of you who are struggling with the diamond level, there you go. Pro tip.
If you wanna win a race, be the fastest.
Yep, that's true too.
If you wanna lose weight, stop eating.
Yeah, anorexia is a great way to lose a couple of pounds.
It's a very great way to lose a couple pounds.
David's a doctor. He's allowed to say these things before you guys all go all getting offended and shit.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a doctor yet.
He's
but-
getting a really early +1 attack. I mean, you got to assume that's +1 attack unless he's a complete moron. With some Zealots.
Mhm. Well, the intent of pressure is already shown by the 2 gateways, so...
Yep. But this
You
is
don't
really
really
hard
have-
to counter with Lings when he's going to have +1, right?
Uh,
Because they 2-shot your Lings then.
not really. It really comes down to positioning. I don't know if I do it this game, but one really neat trick that I actually learned from watching Lucira play is when you feel like your third base is going to be pressured by a lot of zealots, over Maynard drones to that location, because you actually have enough drones, to have like 24 drones at one base. If you have 24 drones at the third base, he actually can't kill you with 4 zealots, even if you have no units out. Because 1 queen and 24 drones is really fucking hard for 4 zealots to deal with. And then by the time the second warp-in comes, you'll have units pop out. So a very neat trick that I learned. I don't know if I do it this game, but definitely keep that in mind. It's one of those ways you can compensate for missing a beat. Say he gets a pylon down, you don't see it, or you think that he's doing a void ray opening, so you drone and you're like, oh shit, there are zealots coming at me. Then
You
you
are
can
going to
just...
lose a lot of drones, though, as well.
Oh, you see what I do? The first thing I do is I send my queen here. Okay, so I am playing this pretty smart. You see how I send that queen there? So that's how I compensate. Instead of oversaturating it with a lot of drones, I'm just going to have 2 queens here. So that's going to be very, very good for me. 2 queens is a very strong defensive unit combination against zealots, especially this early. So.
And you're pretty much going to minimally counter this. You're already making drones again. That's nice.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get supply blocked. That is horrible. Oh boy. Don't get supply blocked. Oh. So as you can see, I could have shot up to like 15 drones here, but I'm an idiot, so. The key to playing well is to not be an idiot.
Now this obviously delays his little tech a little bit, because he's going aggression.
Yeah, definitely was a very silly opening. As you can see, if you click on the production, if you click on income, he has 36 workers.
Your roach swarm went down at 7:20, which, I mean, that's slightly delayed for you. Normally 7 minutes for you, but talk about your gas timings and layer timings here.
Yeah, so you do want to take that third gas as soon as you hit that layer button, ASAP, regardless of what you want to do, actually. Even if you were to mass zerglings, you would still need it for upgrades. Oh, am I losing drones here? Okay, there's no reason for me to lose drones here.
You lost 1. Just relax. It's not a big deal.
Playing silly. Okay, anyways. Alright, so I don't know what he's transitioning to, but the beauty about this map is I know that he took the additional 2 gases at his expansion. So I do assume that this is probably going to be into tech. The most common tech after a lot of zealots is Stargate. But the transition after that, I'd probably have to guess or just kind of know from what I see. So I don't know that he put that robotics facility extremely quick, but I do have a good sense that it's probably going to be Void Rays. So as you can see, I am putting out my spores in good locations and hitting that nice number of about 65 drones as soon as possible. And right about here, when you're about to max roach, you want to put down that 4th gas. So usually I do that once I get my +1 armor upgrade, because that 100 gas, even though 100 gas isn't a lot, at this stage of the game is a lot. Because I have to decide, do I want to risk it and get this +1 missile attack, or do I want to build 4 roaches? Because 4 roaches stops a lot of all-ins, whereas the +1 missile attack doesn't take into effect until, it's like 160 seconds after. So definitely will be needing a lot of gas after I invest in that. And as you can see, I am still waiting. We've talked about this in the first and the second VOD, so watch the first VOD if you want to understand what I'm talking about here. But you don't have to build the roaches right away. You can pull it up because larva doesn't disappear, yada yada yada. Watch the first VOD. And now I'm at a very comfortable number of drones. I'm going to hit up to about 60 something now. I'm going to lose some because of these phoenixes.
That's annoying. That's all it is annoying, though. It's not like game ending.
No, definitely not game ending. The one thing that is a little bit good for him here is he did supply block me, which is huge because as you can see, I was about to go nuts on roach production, but he was able to stop it. But here's a beauty. I'm able to scout with my overseer that he's going into colossus deck. Now, this is something that is very common in Europe.
Wait, let's sync up. Your voice cracked. It was fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Okay, count up.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, so this is a strat that a lot of Europeans love to do. They love going from Void Rays into very quick Colossus, and I don't know, like I'm just going to say this flat out, I don't know why they do this. I mean, for one thing, the guy who invented the 11-minute max to beat everybody is European. So I mean,
Stefano!
if they didn't learn that this doesn't work, I don't know. I don't understand when they are going to learn. You cannot go straight into Colossus after Void Ray openings. It is impractical. Even if the person opens Hydralisks, you can build 2 Immortals and still have time to go into Colossus.
You need to
Immortals are just better. They're cheaper. You don't need an additional tech structure to build them, and they have a gazillion range thanks to that buff. So they're actually really good. So as we're gonna see here, the minute you see the guy go Colossus, build nothing but roaches. You're eventually going to kill him, and we're basically just gonna show that here. It's just the tech is too heavy. You see, he could have had 2 Immortals right now, but he has 1 Colossus, so it's just way too difficult for him to do anything at this point. And basically, I'm just gonna keep building roaches over and over again. I do have that Spire just in case, but I really don't think I'm gonna need it. I just was able to afford it, so I built it, but honestly, I'm not gonna need it.
He also kind of engaged in a dumb spot there. His force fields literally did nothing.
Yeah, but if he didn't engage me there, I would have just gone into his main base. Like, one Colossus is too... It's too weak against Max Roach.
You've also separated his army, so he can't rally his new Colossus.
Yeah, I even got off a kill there on the Colossus, and that's huge. You lose a Colossus like that, that's pretty much game. So I'm just spreading him. I should be attacking his 3rd base right now because he's occupied here, and he's basically just falling apart. As you can see, he's going to go below 100 supply, and that's basically going to be game. So yeah, like, I should be building Mutalisks if I really wanted to play really smart here, but I don't even care at this point because I know that this is pretty much over. And yep, so just attack at multiple locations at the same time. You want to sneak some into the main while you attack the 3rd base, stretch his army as far as possible. It's not only stretching his army, don't forget, if they have to deal with something by warping in units there, that means they cannot warp in units to deal with the majority of your army, so that's essentially the same thing. And yeah, at this point, the game is pretty much won, so I can expand, I can tech to Mutalisks whenever I really want to, but I don't think I will need to at this point, because there's no more Void Rays, so there's no threat to my roaches from air units, so... Yeah, and basically at this point, he's pretty screwed. So definitely don't go Colossus at this point. But this is just showcasing, I guess, a little Stefano-esque kind of play. This is basically how Stefano goes 91% against Protosses on the European ladder.
You wouldn't think roaches counter Stargate play.
Well, that definitely don't.
But it's the transition that kind of screwed this Protoss up.
Yeah, you don't want to go straight into Colossus. It's just too difficult.
And you have killed 17 workers. A devastating amount.
Yep.
GG, left the game. Interesting.
Okay.
I like that game. That was fun for me to watch.
I guess just because there's not much to say on that game, I can maybe give some tips as to how to attack with Max Roach. Basically, what you're looking for, the priority is to get behind a mineral line. And the reason why that's so good is because Protoss units, especially with sentry support, are really shitty when going into a small choke as defense. Really, really shitty. And like every race has that thing, right? Zerg players really suck when they don't have open spaces so that they can't surround you. Terran players are really bad when you're on their production facility. Like even if they're at 200 max, if you sit on their production facilities, then you know, even if a Thor pops out, one Thor can't kill shit by itself. It needs backup units. Protoss players are really bad against playing against things that are behind their mineral line. They just their unit design is bad for it. They have to walk their whole army, and it's weird because stalkers are really fast. Colossus aren't affected by anything. Sentries are slow as shit, but sentries are really bad if they're in the open, so you don't want the sentries to be in front. And force fields don't do anything if the units are stuck anyways, so he's not going to use force fields, and it's just horrible. And obviously zealots can't do shit if he's going into a tight location. So everything about their mineral line is really good for you, really bad for them. It forces them to pull probes. You can also kill probes because roaches are ranged units. And what that allows you to do is it will stretch him either further away from another base that you can attack, or it will allow you to get his army out of position. So after he cleans up that army, he's going to have to come out of his base. And all you need is that one rare case where, because the Colossus are not affected by anything and the Stalkers and the Sentries are hitting each other, Colossus comes out first, kill the Colossus. Or because the Stalkers are faster, the Stalkers would have gotten to the mineral patch first, So the sentries would have been behind, and some players don't even send the sentries there because, like I said, if the units are trapped, why do you need the sentries there? So if the sentries are somewhere else and you pick off the sentries, it's also game over. So go for mineral lines. If he's blocking off units, kill gateways. My God, Protoss players at this point only have 7 to 9 gateways. You kill one, that's 6 gateways. You kill second gateway, they're on 5 gateways, 1 robo. So even if they're on 60 bases, if they're on 1 robo and 5 gates, they're not going to be able to reproduce shit. So very, very effective to kill gateways at that point.
Yeah.
And I always hotkey my eggs into the same hotkey as my roaches.
If you could get into the habit of doing that, it's huge. It'll help your
Yeah.
game a lot.
Definitely.
I started doing that. It's hard. It's kind of a difficult transition to make, but once you start doing it, it makes a huge difference in your army. You won't lose roaches anymore.
Exactly. One thing that I do, especially when you already have 200 supply of overlords, when you're in the heat of battle, it is sometimes difficult to be microing, and because when you produce units through your larva, it's not going to be all just eggs. So you can't just select all of them into your units. Some of them are going to be eggs. Some of them are going to be larva. So what I do in those cases is I'll make the roaches, and then I'll right-click on my mini-map to where I want the roaches to go, so that they're already set up to go there, and I won't have a weird army with larvae in there too. Because if you do produce something else, you don't want to forget about it, because you're gonna have like 4 or 5 subgroups on that one hotkey. You don't want to build mutalisks, and then next thing you know, you have the mutalisks in your roach hotkey because you forgot about them.
Or a bunch of overlords.
Yeah, and then you have to actually go, and then not only do you have to select those specifically, you have to click like the one hotkey, then you have to go to like tab 2, tab 3, tab 4 and find where the overlords or the mutalisks are.
Yeah, that's annoying.
It's a pain in the ass. Even if you're really fast, you don't want that to happen. It stalls a lot.
So don't hotkey larva, hotkey eggs.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
It'll give you a good idea of your unit count too. Like sometimes I make too many lings, but I've noticed since I started hockeying my eggs that I don't overmake lings anymore because I see how many I've got about to hatch. Which is sometimes hard to remember in the heat of battle. So it's really good practice to get into. Okay, follow us on Twitter, at Nouveau Starcraft, at Stoic Regret.
What you said.
What?
What you said.
All right.